Hey there, Cindy Daychuck with Queen Bee Creations. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Hit like, subscribe if you want to keep tuning in. Really, it's as simple as that. We're gonna do a little craft with some spindles. So, you know what? Usually these are things that I don't thrift. I get from the garbage more than anything else. You know, we have one day a month where we would put out like awkward items and things like that. They do a special collection. And so a lot of times people put out old furniture, broken chairs, and I will grab the spindles from them. The best finds are when people are getting rid of old cribs, like really old ones with a lot of the old spindles, because then you get a mess of them. But bed frames, old broken bed frames, anything like that, I take them and then I hang on to them. And so today what I wanted to do was I wanted to make some spindle ornaments, and not just any old spindle ornaments. I want to make some gnomes. So, you know, why not? Really simple process in the sense that we just need a spindle. Now, I'm doing spindles. You could just cut a piece of dowel. You could do this on a fat tongue depressor, or those fat wide popsicle sticks from, oh, I might have one. This is an old one, but something like this from the dollar store. I mean, you know, don't not do a craft because you're missing a piece. Just grab whatever. You could go thrift old wooden spoons or get them from the dollar store and cut those off for dowels if you don't want to, you know, get them from the hardware store or something. So I am using Iron Orchid Designs air dry clay with this. And really what we're making are 4 different pieces to our gnomes. Now, I'm not putting anything on the top because I'm ultimately going to attach an eye screw into that I can loop a chain or ribbon or some rope through to be able to hang these. So I'm not covering the top, but I am putting a hat. So, you know, the first element is think about the kind of hat that you want to put on. And here's where you really get to make each of your gnomes looking, oh, itchy eyebrow, of course, when I've got clay all over me. Each of your gnomes looking a little bit different, right? So let's do, well, let me try kind of making a really elongated hat. And this is all free form, right? So you don't need molds, you don't need stamps, you don't need anything, just your fingers, maybe an X-Acto knife. I'm just using an old shop knife. There's no magic to it. So we're gonna do a hat, we're gonna do beard, nose, and mustache. That's it. You can embellish with other things if you want to, but I think that you can also glue on other embellishments after if you decide that you want some. So I like to leave a little bit of an arch on the bottom of the hat that I can tuck the nose up into, so that the hat in essence comes down a little bit over the nose. So it just means that you might want to, you know, scooch it up a little bit, add a little bit of detailing. And now I'm just gonna kind of curl the hat up and down and around. Let me see how that looks. Okay, that won't be too bad. So then, oops, then the magic is glue. So you can use any tacky glue. I'm using a wood glue here, but just any tacky glue. And as always, I just get right in there with my finger, and I have a paper towel that I'm just wiping off on. And then I am just going to kind of scooch that around my dowel, leaving a gap for the nose, right? And I'm just kind of now pinching it into place a little bit, adding a few little wrinkles and details, taking my hat into a better position. So nothing magical at this stage. This is what it looks like, right? So, still kind of slidey because it's on my dowel, but it'll stay in place as the glue dries. Now, the next piece is the beard. So don't go into doing the nose or the mustache yet. We want some kind of beard, and again, you can do it short, you can do it squared off, you could do it braided. You know, you get to do whatever kind of beard you want. So I'm looking at maybe a nice long beard on this guy, maybe. He's got a big long hat. Let's give him a nice long beard. Okay, and that's actually, I think, a little more clay than I need. It doesn't need to be quite so. Okay, I'm just going to add glue now. So I'm gonna add some glue, spread that out, a little bit more over here. So you can see I'm not taking a lot of time to agonize over this, right? So don't feel like, gee, I don't have good clay molding skills at all. This is not precision work. So, there's his hat, there's his beard. Now the one thing I am gonna do is I'm gonna take the back of my knife and I'm just gonna score a little bit of texture into his beard. Okay, there we go. There's his beard. Now I'm gonna do, I need to have two things. I need a big nose. So just a round ball. Okay, that's gonna work. And then whatever kind of mustache you decide that you want. So is it like a big mustache sticking out? Is it a big drooping mustache? Is it a little tiny mustache? Is it just kind of short going over his mouth? Oh, I could give it that. Okay, let me try a lip. I'll show you the one that I've done already, and then I'll show you this one. This one I'll give a little bit of a mouth to, maybe. You know, just that thought. Let me see how I can do that. I think what's going to be important for that is the mustache. Okay, a little bit of glue just to make you stick. Okay, a little bit of a lip for him. And now a little bit of a mustache. And I'm thinking maybe he'll have a little bit of a curl down mustache cut. And this is the fun part, because this is where you start to create whatever kind of personality your little gnome is going to have. So that's going to work. Let me just open it up a little bit. There. And glue. We'll stick that in place. And then I'm going to glue the nose. And there's our little gnome. I did this guy and this guy. Look at how different they look. And we have the opportunity to let them dry, and then we'll come back and paint. So I'm gonna do I'm gonna do a couple more. I've got a little bit of a glue bleed down there. I'm gonna do a couple more so that I have a couple of samples to be able to show you when we go to finishing them off. But you saw how quick that was to be able to make them. So we need some kind of base. So whether you're doing a spindle or a dowel, popsicle stick, wooden spoon, anything like that, we need glue, air-dried clay, and something to just kind of add a little bit of texture. So whether that is a toothpick would work. So especially if you're doing this with children, you don't want to give them a knife, they can add texture into the beard and things with a toothpick. It doesn't have to be anything sharp. And ultimately, we'll be painting, so however you want to paint, and then an eye hook and some kind of ribbon. Nice and simple, but okay, I'm kind of digging them already. So I'll do a couple more, and then we'll come back and we can finish them up, and I'll give you a couple of options for doing that too. Kind of stinking cute. Okay, our little guys are all dry, and I want to share them with you here so you can see them with the clay all dried. I think they're looking really cute already. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a short and long one. Okay, you're too similar, so you guys be together. You guys be together. And I'm gonna paint them out two different ways. These two, I'm going to take crinoline by DIY. So you can see it's like a rich, creamy color. And I'm going to paint them entirely in crinoline. So one solid color, and then we're gonna come back to it, but I'm gonna paint them entirely in the crinoline. These two, I'm gonna take and here's how I store my acrylics, just so you see. I'm gonna take my acrylic paints, and I've got a mess of little brushes, and I am going to paint these guys out in acrylic colors. So they're gonna be in brights, right? So we're gonna get them painted out with some white beard. See if I've got some gray, I've got some browns and some greens and, you know, red hats. So I'm gonna paint them out with colors, and then we'll be able to compare. And I'm just doing this, I mean, obviously you're gonna pick one style so you have a matched set, but I wanna give you two completely different looks. The color, the paint is the two different looks of these, it's really gonna transform them. And so I wanted to give you a good idea of that. Oh, there we go, there's a gray. I want one of them to have a gray beard. And yeah, so I'm just gonna sit here and have fun painting these guys. And then I'll come back at you with the ones that are gonna be crinoline. There's still gonna be another stage to them. These two, they're gonna get the acrylic paints, and they're going to be, in essence, done once they dry. So we'll see how those guys look. But I'll come back, and you know, once I'm done with this stage and they've dried, so I'm gonna get them painted first, then we can come back and talk about the next step that I'm gonna do that's really gonna make them pop. I'm excited. I'm loving these guys. See that I just use a paper plate to put my acrylics onto. That way I get to mix and blend them on here, and then I can just toss this away. So I have these two little guys. He's not quite dry, almost dry. And I did them so they sort of look similar, just because I wanted to. What I thought that they needed, though, is just a little bit of greenery up by the hat. So I just have a little bit, it was too big a dab of glue. Just a little bit of something green up there. And then I think I'm just going to take one of these little bells off of here and give him a bell, because that'd maybe be cute. So I'm just going to pop a little bell in there too. And I think that's all the zhuzhing up. That's all the zhuzhing up he needs. So I'm going to do something similar to the little guy. Now, the other two. I've got them painted with crinoline by DIY. So just a rich, kind of creamy color. And I did spray them with just a polyacrylic. I'm going to take some clear wax. They're not even quite dry, so I'm maybe rushing this process a little bit here. I'm going to take a little bit of clear wax and just kind of go over them briefly here. Because what I'm looking to do is add some dark wax into all those little nooks and crannies. So I have dark wax here, and the thing about dark wax is you just need a little. It goes a long way. But what I'm looking at doing with this is getting it to go down into all those details. And really, this is the only way that this becomes remotely two-tone, right? I'm just going to take the excess off, and you can see where I've added some of the detail just in around the mustache and the mouth, and then the rest is plain. And I'm just leaving them like that. I just thought that there was an element of these that I thought, you know what, could look really cute in just a very neutral kind of format. And I just wanted to give you some of that look as well, because, you know, like the whole red and green thing that I did on the others, you might not be into, but you could certainly do these in a gold or a copper or something as well. Make them metallic and do them that way. So the beauty of starting with the air dry clay is that you really get to take this any direction you want. I mean, you know, what's the theme on your Christmas tree in terms of colors? If it's, you know, pink and purple and silver, your gnomes could be pink and purple and silver, or blue and bronze, or, you know, I don't think Christmas colors have to be just one way or the other. I mean, some people are traditional, so cool. I've got the little guys that are fairly traditional. I mean, the ones wearing sort of a red and white Santa hat, right? These are just these guys are very kind of monochrome, but it brings out the details and they look kind of cool. So you really get to take it any direction that you want to more than anything else. I'm gonna finish these guys up and I'll take a staged picture for you of what they look like. I think they look super sweet. So let me know what you think, because you're welcome to your own opinion. And certainly let me know if you give it a try and how they turn out. You know, you can always send me a message, some pics in an email to queenbeecreations@primus.ca. Love to see your pics. I know that sometimes I don't think YouTube allows you to put pics in the comments. So more than happy to see some of yours. Let me know if you're happy with me posting them on the website too. I would love to onto the Facebook page. I'd love to give you credit for some of this as well. But I'll finish doing these up. I'll take a couple of pictures. You see what you think. Love to hear. Love to hear. Because I was just playing, but I'm kind of liking this idea. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. You can pick up your clay and, you know, some of the DIY paints that I use, queenbeecreationshome.com. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. And until then, take care.